Hello everyone, welcome to Love Talk, time to communicate with Helena and James.
In order for marriage to work, it's absolutely imperative that both people involved understand that a happy relationship doesn't just happen. Instead, it's a result of consistent efforts of understanding your partner and a willingness to work hard.
Once people understand that happy relationships are just not stumbled upon, they will then apply the necessary efforts that will steer the relationship in the right direction.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves because today we are talking about the difference between being a male versus being a man.
Are they the same thing or two completely different things? And if they are different, what are the main differences?
Fire away.
Good one.
Stumps a lot of people.
Yeah, this is a stumper.
Now this is going to be a hard question to answer.
I feel like I should have more experience in this than you, but I don't.
What really makes a boy a man?
You assume that they do become a man, right?
I imagine science can define it. I mean, certain age, I guess, at that point, but...
When I was 5 years old, I think it was about 10. When I was 10, it was about 13. I was a man.
I guess you could say at puberty, but it's not necessarily true.
When you drive a car.
When you stop living with your parents.
I don't think it has to do much with age. I think you can be a man at 15 years old, or you cannot be a man at 40 years old.
I don't know if they ever really do.
We have a lot of grown boys acting out the part of men.
And I thought like I became a man like after the army. That's what I thought.
When he gained responsibility of self.
Probably when he experiences sex for the first time.
When he has to take care of someone.
When he probably loses something really important to him.
I think a boy becomes a man when he, I don't know, takes a step to put other people before himself.
When he understands what family truly means.
A boy is someone who wants, thinks for himself, presents, gifts, stuff like that, and a man's someone who wants the best for his family and children and things like that.
Doesn't rely on others to do for him what he should do for himself as a man.
Being a man is not easy. There is a pressure of what is expected of you as a husband, head of the household, role model for your children and peers, and the list goes on.
You may have a hairy chest, an Adam's apple, and an XY chromosome, and surely this will make you part of a male species. But whether you are a real man, this is a completely different matter.
Let's not confuse being a man with behaving macho, womanizing, putting food on the table, and grunting during motorsports, right? This is where the misconceptions are.
Today's couple went through a stressful period of their relationship because of some bad decisions that were made in the past, but things have drastically improved. Let's see how they do in the love quiz and also hear their story. Hello and welcome to our weekly love quiz, and it's that time again where we test our guests' knowledge about each other. Now I have here with me Natalie and Michael, and we are just about to find out how well they know each other. Well guys, the rule is very simple. The rules are very simple. I will ask you each 5 questions and you have only 10 seconds to answer each correctly. Let's begin with you, Natalie. Natalie, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Good. Natalie, question number 1, let's go. What's his happiest memory as a child? 10 seconds on the clock.
Okay. Riding a bike, learning to ride a bike.
No, 10 seconds.
Going to St. Lucia.
That's correct. Just a bounce. Okay, good. Question number 2, what kind of music does he like? Time starts now.
Gospel.
Correct. Good. Okay, question number 3, Natalie. What doesn't he like to eat? 10 seconds.
Mushroom.
Yes, and?
Oh, another.
You mentioned 2 things. 10 seconds.
Pork.
Correct. Wow, okay. Right, you've got 2 more to go. Let's see if you can give us correct answers on these ones. Question number 4, what item can he not live without?
His phone.
Yes, that's correct, very well. And last question. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
3 answers, I need 3 answers from you, so you need to be quick.
Okay.
Now, name 3 things you and your partner think have in common. Time starts now.
We like gospel.
No. Oh yeah, same music. Yeah, I would
Same
say
music. Food. We
No.
enjoy similar food. No.
No. Quick.
Gosh, I don't know. I can't think of the.
You've run out of time, unfortunately. But you've done so well until now. Look, you've got what he said is number 1, faith. You've got the same faith, same music, and you also like the same movies, same kind of movies. So yeah, you've got 1 right here, but I can only count 4. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, very well. You've got 4 out of 5. Now, Michael, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Are you really ready?
I'm ready.
Are you going to do better than she did?
I'm going to try my best.
Let's see. Question number 1. What's her idea of a perfect me time afternoon? Time starts now.
Just spending time with us together, watching movies.
She said TV series. So I guess she didn't specify who she watches. She watches them with, but yeah, I'll count this one as a correct one. Question number 2, what are you most likely to argue about?
Tidiness, lateness.
Tidiness, she said tidiness, and then she said housekeeping, all these messy things in the house. You know what she means, right?
Yeah.
Very well. Now, question number 3. So far you've got 2 correct ones. What are the 2 things she loves the most about you? You only have 10 seconds.
She likes my personality.
Be more specific.
My drive, my determination.
Yes, that's correct. There's another one. Quick.
Eyebrows.
I'm afraid you run out of time now. She said you're very proactive and very caring.
Okay.
So yes, you are always on the go, very determined, but you missed the caring one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, sorry about that. Question number 4. Okay, what was the most difficult time in life so far? 10 seconds.
Probably going in uni.
That's correct. Now, question number 5 and last one. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This one is very, 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 very hard.
Whew,
for a man.
I'm ready.
Not every man, but usually. What's the shoe size?
Size 6 and 7.
That's correct. Well done. So you guys scored the same.
Nice.
4 out of 5.
Nice.
Very well done to you both. Really, really well, okay?
He always asks me, if I've done something during the day, like always checking up on me to see whether I'm doing what I said I was planned to do in the day. So I'd come home and he would say, oh, did you visit the council today, or did you go and do the rent, sort out the rent? And I'm like, yeah. And then he will ask me again, but I'm like, yeah, I did. I can make sure that I did, but sometimes he's always asking me.
I would say tidiness. Yeah, I would say tidiness for the first one.
He might say, when are you getting your hair done or something? But then it feels sometimes when he says that, it's like, oh, are you insinuating that I need to get it done?
For the second one, I would say lateness. She's very late sometimes to certain places where we go to.
He does not like shopping, so he really hates shopping, clothes shopping, so when we go out it's really difficult. He just wants to be quick, get it done, and then go, so yeah, that's annoying. I wish he would like shopping a bit more.
Shopping, I'm not a person to really go shopping, and I don't really, like going shopping too much.
Let's look at the characteristics of the male versus the man. It takes a real man to stay faithful to one person and not to stray. That's what a man is about. Being a man is not about how many women you take to bed. It's about being with the same woman for the rest of your life. Yeah.
That's very, very easy. And also a woman is looking for a man. Eventually she will get tired of you, who has this thing of sleeping around and exchanging her for someone else here now and again. She's gonna get tired. When she's ready for commitment, she's gonna look for a man.
So the man is faithful. Also, a male is usually a layabout. He doesn't really like to work, doesn't really have any prospects for the future. If he gets a job, he quickly loses the job, not because he wasn't good at what he was doing, but because he was irresponsible, got there late, didn't respect people. He's the kind of guy that if he sits at home the whole day playing video games and eating corn chips, he's happy.
He's the kind of guy that realizes later on, oh, all my friends are married, have a family and a career, and I'm still here playing with my PlayStation.
And of course, the man on the other hand, he can't not have a purpose in life. He likes the fact that he works hard. He takes pride in the fact...
He's driven.
He's driven, exactly. He takes pride in the fact that he works hard, and people know he works hard, right?
He's a natural provider.
Absolutely. Usually people associate men with being rude, having no manners, right? He's very rough, tough. That's not a man. Because a man is a gentleman. He's polite, he treats people with respect, treats people nicely. The male, on the other hand, he has no manners, right? The kind of guy that's in the traffic, and if someone does something a little bit wrong, he shouts, gets out of the car, gets out of the van, and kicks the other guy's car, wants to pull him for a fight. That's not a man. If you are like that, you're not a man, you're a male.
And another thing these kind of male do is they don't take any advice from any female. No way. I am a man and you are a woman, what do you know?
A male is a caveman. What is a caveman? A caveman is someone who has no manners when talking, who doesn't think he needs to talk about how he feels, how a relationship is going. He's the kind of guy that he says, I'm right, I don't need to apologize, I don't need to talk about what is right, what is wrong, how to make things work. He's a caveman. A man, on the other hand,
he's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman, but what else?
He's a gentleman, he's a good listener, he's polite, and he cares about what other people think. And you know something, James, it comes also as part of culture. Some people are brought up in this frame of mind. A man is tough, a man is this, a man is that. Well, a male is that, not a man.
And also, remember, if you have been brought up like that, you can change. A male can turn into a man, as you will listen from the guests we will have later on in the show. Final thing we want to talk about, and the most important one, is that the male, he doesn't think of the consequences of his actions. So he hurts people, he makes bad decisions. He doesn't care when he has fits of rage and hurts people with what he says. He doesn't care if he loses his job because he's playing video games at home. He doesn't care if he's being a terrible role model for his children. A male just thinks of the right now. He doesn't think of what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think that's the biggest difference.
And the thing is, for that kind of male, I think there's a deep issue inside of them. They behave, I believe, I'm not a man, but I have been trying to study, not study, but observing, understanding, because we do speak to a lot of people and trying to understand why they do this. And many times it's because of a inner problem. Issue inside of the person, unresolved. It's like they have a I don't care kind of thing, like oh, I don't care, who cares? Maybe they were brought up by themselves, you know, with their mums, without a father, and that's why they behave like this. But it's time to man up and change.
Absolutely.
And because everyone can change, like you said, I agree completely.
And I was brought up mostly by my mom. And I don't think that was an issue. For some people might be, because people deal with things differently. But if you are not a man yet, you can decide to become one. It starts with a decision.
Now that we have extensively gone over the differences between the two, here is some advice for those who are currently dating a male instead of a man. If you notice that the man you are dating is actually a male, then you've got a very difficult decision ahead of you.
Until this person decides to grow up, you'll be playing the role of the mummy. And unless you're okay with having an adult behaving like a child around you all the time, then perhaps you need to consider looking for someone who will match the same standards you have in a relationship. Now, before we go for the break, Elena and I, we have been doing this marriage course that has been extremely successful. There are couples who are attending this marriage course that have seen their marriages transform.
Small group, it's a small group.
A small group, exactly. And if you'd like to take part, you can contact us on info@lovetalkshow.tv. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So after a draw, I'm here with Michael and Natalie. How are you guys?
Fine, thank you.
We don't usually get couples getting a draw, so that's unusual.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. It means you know each other just as much.
Yeah, equally already, yeah.
That's good. So guys, today we're talking about male versus men, the difference. I called you guys here because I know that you, Michael, you have been a male before, and you've graduated to being a man.
Yeah, definitely. I have indeed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on that. But I want to know, before you graduated to being a man, why would you say at that point, a few years ago, you were just a male?
When I was a male, I was very irresponsible. I didn't really care too much about life in a way. I was always, I don't know, what can I say, getting into trouble.
Were you dating
I was dating Natalie, yeah, I was dating Natalie at that time as well. We've been together for quite a while. And yeah, I was just irresponsible. I didn't really know where I was going. But now, it's totally...
Before we get to the now, hold on a second. You're fast, you're going too fast. Yeah. So Natalie, how was that? I mean, did you used to pressurize him for him to be more responsible, or at that point you didn't care?
No, I did care. I think what it was is that he was irresponsible in the sense he would do whatever he wants to do, but I wanted us to be more as a union, more together. So he used to maybe just like, I don't know, just go out with his friends and whatever and stuff. So.
But Michael, let me ask you a question. I have this curiosity, because you know you were not the only male out there, and there's many still out there. Men. There are very few men out there. Now, why? What was going through your mind that, you know, made you just have a I don't care kind of attitude, like, you know, let me just do this and hang around with this kind of people, or not do this, or, you know, because you know what's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But what was going on in your mind?
At that time,
I'd like to know what happens inside
a male's mind.
Yes.
At that time, I don't know, I was just very young. I was just going with the flow. I was just doing in a way what my friends were doing, and my mind wasn't there at all. I was going through certain problems in my life as well. I was going through, you know, issues that, just certain issues in my life.
So that was, okay, so that was why you had that kind of attitude. Okay.
Now, what kind of stress did that put in the relationship, Natalie? I mean, would you guys argue over this? Would you say, look, if you don't change, then did you ever give him an ultimatum? How did the relationship pan out because of that?
There were arguments. At the time, around that time as well, I was at university, so we was like living quite a distance away from each other. So it was that I wanted him to make more time for me. So yeah, we used to argue. It was stressful, and then I think because he was just doing what he wanted to do, I just thought, you know what, I'll just do whatever I want to do and not tell each other, oh, like, you know, if you're going somewhere, not saying, oh, where you're going, just, it's almost like you're in a relationship, but it's like you're living two different lives. So, yeah.
So you became a female?
Yeah, exactly.
So because he was being a male, you became a female.
Yeah.
Now, let me just stop there. For those who just joined us, we're not talking about the gender, male, female. We're making a comparison of the male, what it means to be male, and what it means to be a man. We're going to talk about how you change into a man in a bit. So this put stress in the relationship, and then your way of coping with it was to just become a little bit irresponsible as well, right? So the relationship at that point, how was it when you decided to be responsible as well?
It was just lack of communication, and like I said, it was like, even though we was in a relationship, it was almost like we was like single, and yeah, it was a bit distant, I would say. But then
now you guys have a little girl.
Yeah.
So now you're a man because you're a family man. By the way, you guys are married.
Yeah.
How long?
We got married last year, September.
Okay, so under a year still. So newlyweds. So what made you change, Michael, from being a male to a man?
What made me change was what happened in 2010. Basically, I went to prison in 2010.
You don't say. But that's what happens when people, sorry I cut in on you, but when a person is irresponsible, the male just thinks of the here and now, right? I don't care about tomorrow, about the long term. So you made some poor choices and you ended up in prison.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter why, but you were there for how long?
I was there for 15 months.
So that gave you a bit of time to think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. enough time to think.
Enough time to think. Yeah. And during that time, I mean, what happened? What did you decide to do? What went through your head?
At that time, that was one of the lowest points in my life. I was very stressed. I was going through a lot because I was also very addictive to cannabis. So when I went into prison, I found it hard to sleep because when I was outside, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and that was the only thing that kept me, that kept me
going.
That kept me going. So it just, when I went to prison, it totally changed me, and our relationship grew while I was in prison because.
But why? Was it because you were there for him?
Yeah, she was there for me. She was definitely there for me.
So that was like the starting point to you becoming a man.
Yeah.
So when you left, did you say, okay, now I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna be a man.
Yeah. And that's from there, my whole life changed. My whole life changed.
It's very interesting. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, James, because I'm thinking of what you said before, that you had other issues that you were fighting. That's why you had this, because behind every bad behavior, there is a reason why. Yeah. But for example, when you were there in prison, did you kind of realize, what's the point in dwelling in whatever was happening in your life? And because what it is, many people, they get into that same situation, but they still insist in that pain that they feel, maybe because of family problems, or maybe they grew up without a father, or whatever the reason is, but they insist in that and they never come out of that situation. they come out of prison eventually, but in their mind they carry on the same. So was there a change in you in relation to how you used to feel about life before?
There was a big change to do with it. When I went inside, the first month it was very hard for me. But when I was in the prison, I went to the church. I went to I spoke to the pastors, the priests, and I thanked God when I was in prison.
So you dealt with the inner issues,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and with Natalie, they're also giving me support, and my family giving me support. It really did help me, and with these things, it really transformed my life.
That's great.
Really, really good.
Okay, we have to change the mood a little bit because it's a relationship program. Otherwise, people say, right? Now we want to hear about your relationship, right? Because Natalie, you had a relationship with a guy who was irresponsible in the beginning. Then all of a sudden he had this new direction in life. He wanted to be responsible. I mean, was that a breath of fresh air for you? Did you feel now things can work, but you still had to adapt? How was it having a different Michael afterwards?
It was much better because in terms of our closeness as well, we became more close, and he used to consider me a bit more before he does, before he makes any choices. He would also ask for my opinion and what I think. And also I feel like we was more on the same level in terms of I had goals in terms of career-wise, and this time when this change in him, he had a goal and he was going for his goals.
Right.
So I was able to relate more as well.
So this time he wasn't thinking of the here and now. You had like long-term goals. How important is that for a woman?
Really important, because we always need something
What a
to
question.
work.
Of course, very.
I know it's an
So-
obvious question,
So
but
much so that women, they stop dating certain guys because they see that the guy is a child. The guy,
He's a male.
Yeah, a male child, call him whatever. It's
a
just-
male child, yes,
It's
you're
like,
right.
she's thinking of getting married in the future. He's thinking of playing PlayStation until late. Probably they live together, and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, it feels good, no? Having a male.
Not a male, a man. A man.
Sorry.
It's tricky, this thing of male and male. Okay, what we want to find out from you guys after the break is we want to know how you guys adapted or you are adapting to married life, because you've just been married for under a year. I know that you guys are doing a marriage course, which is part of the love therapy seminars that we do as well. And we want to know how it's been, this new life of adapting. Now you have a guy who's responsible, wants the best for the family. You have a woman who's mature as well. But how that adapting period's been? Because usually we have couples here who've been together for a while, like a few years. You guys have just been married, so we want to know what's the challenges and how you're making things work, right? So we're gonna go for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We were here a few moments ago with Michael the male. Now we're gonna come back with Michael the man. He is the man, right? So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Now, tell me, what is it like now? Because you guys have been married for not so long. So what is it like, married life? What are the challenges? Who wants to start? Do you have the most complaints?
I would say probably being able to take each other's, into consideration, like our not values, but
maybe opinions
and
decisions.
decisions. And it's just being able to almost like understand each other a bit more. So I think that was a challenge.
Is that it? You were telling me about the tidiness of the house, and I want to hear about that.
Michael,
Sorry, Michael. You said she could speak. Now she's. No, hold on. Who is the tidy one here? So you want the best? Okay, so I'll let you speak then, Mike.
Tidiness is it's getting. I can say it's getting a little bit better, but
I have a tip for you, Michael. Buy her storage boxes.
I've got storage
It works
boxes.
every
I've got
time.
loads of storage boxes.
Buys lots of store boxes for her makeups, all her bits
Do you know
and
why
bobs.
she's saying this? She's saying this because let me tell you a story. You were at home. I bought this box, and I said this box is perfect for my cables because I have loads of cables for computers, cables for everything. So I'm gonna buy this box full of compartments. Perfect. As soon as the box arrived, I never saw this box again. When I got home later that night, that box had already been taken over by Elena and her little jewelry and
my earrings, everything was spotted.
That's why she mentioned boxes. Now, how do you have a 2-year-old girl?
Yeah.
Who has chicken pox at the moment.
Yeah, she's not well at the moment.
So thank you for being on the show because she has. I understand it's difficult. How do you make time for yourself to be together, to spend time together with a little girl? You guys are working full-time jobs. How you guys make time?
Recently, I tried to make a little schedule because we do our work 6 days a week. And Natalie, at the moment, she's like doing her part-time work and also doing her part-time volunteer work. Training. So what I'd say is every Saturdays and every Sundays we try to make time with each other. And also sometimes during the week also make time with each other because also we go to church every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday as well. So we're always very busy. So I'll try to make it, we spend time every Saturday evening together and Sundays together also.
Is that with your little girl or just the two of you, everyone together?
That's mostly with our little girl.
Yeah, but during the week sometimes like she stays with my mum, like for 2 days or 2 nights. So sometimes we have the evening during the week.
Yeah, to spend time with each other because that's very important.
Yeah, because
actually this is something we were talking about in the marriage course, right? The evenings. The evenings are very important because it's the time that you get home, you unwind, you stop, you disconnect from work.
But I'm very impressed actually to hear you say, sometimes she stays at my mom's for a day or two. It's nice because usually couples, young parents, they are very attached to their baby. So much so, too much sometimes, that they kind of forget about their relationship a bit. So the baby's now the new husband, if you want to say, if you know what I mean. Whereas before, and tell me if I'm wrong, husbands, I don't know, but usually they tend to be get a bit jealous, like, everything's a baby now, baby. What about me and our movie night? So it's actually very good. It's very rational. I mean, one thing at a time. So
did you get jealous, Michael?
At the beginning.
Do you know what? I was going to say that at the beginning, it was very hard because she was very attached to our little girl. I was attached as well, but as a woman, she was very attached, and I was a little bit jealous.
She didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to leave her.
I understood, but yeah.
Because you had all the attention before.
Yeah, I know I did, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you lost that attention.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
A little bit of the attention, so it was hard. Now, since you guys have been together married for not very long, Natalie, what's been the most difficult thing to adapt to in the marriage, in the relationship?
I think, like I said before, it's just being able to respect each other's opinions. And for instance, with the cleanliness, tidiness, I shouldn't make excuses, but now I've become more self-aware. I realise, okay, that could be an excuse why I didn't do this or didn't do that. But it's just kind of just understanding each other that, okay, maybe she had to rush out, so this wasn't done. So it's just having consideration for each other. So that was a bit difficult, but now I think we're able to kind of work it out, isn't it? Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
So it's the usual cliche of meeting halfway, right?
Halfway, that's what it is, I think. And
so you're getting there. How has these first few months of marriage been?
It's been good. It's been good, but it's also been challenging as well because when I don't know, I can't speak for other men, but myself, when we got married, I was thinking, I'm gonna get food every day. I'm gonna get the cooking. Everything's gonna be done. All the washing. I'm not gonna have to be doing nothing. Just go work and come back, and I'm gonna get looked after. I do get looked after, but it's not as I thought it was gonna be.
Because for example, our wives, just like the husband, we both have personalities, we both have careers, and so in an ideal world, it would be 100% spot on and perfect.
Well,
but
a few years ago,
yeah,
that's how it used to be.
Some decades ago.
Almost
but right now,
half a century.
Yeah, but right now it's especially because, you know, in the UK, London, life is very expensive here. Both people work, sometimes work very long hours, so it's difficult. So now, you know, it's important that both chip in almost always the same, so that things can work. Yeah. But once you find that middle ground, that you know, the percentage that works, then you find a good balance. Yeah. So you've been able to learn from each other as well.
Yeah, we learn. Yeah, we learn a lot from each other.
Yeah. And I think even with the household stuff, I think it's me being able to, even though I'm tired, it's just getting out that routine. Like, okay, you know, you're married, you need to kind of push yourself a bit more.
But also you, Michael, right? Yeah. Also you, because you know, when the guy is a man, not just a male, then he knows that he has to step in as well, and it's a give and take, right? You don't just take, you give as well. So
I do that.
He does help a lot.
But there must be a balance.
You see, she's putting a good word.
But there must be a balance, because I know couples where one is not so organized. There's always one, okay, Michael? Don't worry.
Who is it? Who is it, Glenn?
I don't know. I think it's you. No, it's me.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
It's me, okay? I'm more freer. Anyway, you know, life's short, you can't get stressed. Otherwise you look older than your husband in a few years' time. But yeah, so I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, the point was that I'm more organized.
Stop it.
Guys, I wanted to thank you for being on the show. And your story, Michael, is very inspirational. Actually, both of you, because you've made that transition. And we know there are a lot of couples that have been together for 10 years, 20 years, and the guy has never graduated to becoming a man. He's still a male. We have guys that are still irresponsible, don't understand how important they are in the marriage, in the relationship, and they are still males. So congratulations on graduating.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your relationship. And you are just, at the moment, you're just gelling, which is good.
Yeah.
You're getting to gel
really
more.
Well, yes, you are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yes.
Now, before you go, I want to draw your attention. The men, first of all, I think, Elena, you could say something about the women, how to deal with the males. Now, if you're watching me and you're a male, today I have a very, very short advice for you. 2 words, if you're a male. Grow up. Elena, over to you.
Okay. Well, what I have to say is this. If you are dating, it's a good time for you to see and test a person's spirit. Because you can't tell the future, but you can really tell if there is potential for that person to, you know, become a man. Because let's be honest, you can tell when the person is not really interested in a committed relationship, or, you know, the person is not really looking for anything serious, and you insist, and then what happens is you get disappointed because the person is not ready to grow up.
Yeah.
And it's a problem.
So, like you were saying, Lena, if you are dating someone who is not a male, I mean, we're not saying the person is not mature, because sometimes a person may not be very mature, but they're responsible. So it's okay that the person is not very mature. Maturity comes with time and with experience. But if you're dating someone who's irresponsible, doesn't want to work, doesn't have a future or goals for the future, then you may want to evaluate that relationship and perhaps, maybe not even be in that relationship. If you're married to someone, then you can't just quit a relationship because the person hasn't yet graduated to being a man. You can help that person, you can motivate them to look at the future, try to make plans. And you see that Michael was saying the turning point for him was that when he was at his lowest, Natalie was there for him. That made him see the value that Natalie had. And
can I just add one quick thing? For those males who are watching us now, if you find it hard to be committed, to behave more in a more responsible way and everything, I think you should address the inner issues. I mentioned that earlier with Michael because this is why you behave the way you behave. I mean, it's not your fault entirely. It's a baggage you've been carrying with you for a long time, and you need to sort it out because otherwise you will never change.
Absolutely. So men, remember, this world doesn't need males. There's already plenty of them. This world needs men. Be a man. Stand up for what you need to stand up for in your family. Grow up. Take responsibility for the people that are dependent on you, on yourself, and you'll see how that will better your relationships for sure. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.
Love hasn't got that importance anymore. I think right now society doesn't give importance to it.
It should, because it's the basis of everything. Like, we're social beings, we need love, we need other people's touch and everything, so we should go back to the 80s.
Life doesn't exist.
There's romantic love, and there's love of oneself. There is love of nothing in particular, just the feeling of love.
A willingness to accept each other when times are good and when times are bad.
That's it. We've had to do it.
They say that, scientists haven't discovered, scientifically they haven't yet been able to define what love is. So at the moment we're all kind of in the dark about it, but yeah, I think it's more about an action than just the feelings. It's how you show it over a long period of time.
Romantic love is really biological. It has a lot to do with chemicals and reproduction, and there's something that happens after the first 6 months, after the first 18 months of romance.
You're sacrificing certain things that you normally might indulge in to kind of prove how much you love that person.
Another stage of love develops after childhood, after you give birth to children and you're raising a family, and as far as with a partner.
Love is you, love is me, love is that tree, love is that bus, love is this guitar, love is this note, love is also this note, love is this note together. Love is the A chord, love is the G chord, love is definitely the D chord. In fact, this is about love. Dubstep zombie. Your battery's running low, but you still suppose you can get from A to B. You beautiful zombie. If you just look up, you'd see that love has been there all along. Processing information. You've got brain inflation. Your soul doesn't make a sound. Easy applicating. You miss procrastinating. The blood is pumping around. And how you long for connection. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Just a little more affection. Love. Yes, you do. Love, 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 love. Love.